All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the no contact rule. Now, you might think it's just a simple tactic, maybe a bit of a mind game, but what we're going to explore is a much deeper psychological process, a journey that unfolds in very predictable stages, starting not in her head, but deep in her nervous system.
And this, right here, is the key. So many guys assume that if you go silent, you just disappear, you get forgotten. But the framework we're looking at says the exact opposite. See, disciplined total silence doesn't make you invisible. No, it becomes a powerful psychological disruption. It's like a tiny crack in the perfect armor she's trying to show the world.
So, we're going to walk through this in 6 distinct phases. And this isn't random, okay? This is a roadmap. It's a predictable path that starts with a physical shock and ends with a huge internal shift. Let's start right at the beginning. Okay, phase 1, the initial shock, the very first reaction to you being gone. It's not a thought, it's not even an emotion. It's physical. It's a direct disruption to a rhythm that she didn't even know you were providing.
So, right after the breakup, what happens? Well, she probably feels this huge wave of relief. You'll see it, right? The confident pictures on social media, laughing a little too loud with her friends. She's performing this version of herself that screams, "I definitely made the right choice." It feels like freedom.
But here's the thing about that feeling. It's not built to last. Because underneath all that performance, a completely different process is kicking off. One she can't control and honestly doesn't even recognize is happening.
And this is where we get to the idea of an emotional anchor. Think about it. Without either of you realizing it, your steady presence might have been this quiet regulator in her life, a grounding force. And when that anchor is suddenly yanked away, her nervous system is the first to notice. It's like a subtle misfire in her brain, this weird, unexplained feeling that something is just off.
And this is the first little glitch in the matrix for her. It's not a conscious thought like, oh, I want him back. It's just a jolt of pure confusion. Her entire system expected a reaction from you. The chasing, the angry texts, the pleading. And when all it gets back is disciplined silence, that's when the disruption really starts to amplify. And that, well, that's what builds into our next phase.
So this brings us to section 2, the mounting emotional pressure. That initial physical jolt, it now starts to morph into a real mental and emotional weight. And here's the paradox. Your absence doesn't make her forget you. It actually forces her to confront everything she was trying to run away from.
So what does she do? She runs. She tries to fill that void you left with just noise. Constant plans, endless distractions with friends, maybe flirting with other guys, packing her schedule so tight there isn't a single second to just sit and think. She believes that all this activity will just erase the memory of you, but really, it's just delaying the inevitable.
And this is when a crucial moment of contrast hits her. As she's out there seeking all these distractions, she starts comparing the shallow, superficial attention she's getting with the calm, steady presence that you provided. And that can be a truly chilling realization. The idea that what she gave up was actually rare. And that's when your silence stops feeling like freedom and starts feeling a lot more like pressure.
And all that pressure, well, it has to go somewhere. Which leads us right into section 3. Curiosity takes hold. Look, she can deny her feelings to her friends, to the world, but she can't escape her own thoughts. And when things go quiet, her mind starts to drift exactly to the one place she told herself it wouldn't.
And let's be clear, we're not talking about just being nosy. In this context, her curiosity is a symptom. It's a sign of an internal imbalance. It's the first real crack in the story she's been telling herself. It's a silent confession that maybe, just maybe, she completely underestimated you.
So, this curiosity fuels a secret little investigation, and every single action is designed to look totally accidental, right? It's all about protecting her ego. She's not looking to reconnect, not yet. She's gathering data. She's trying to figure out if you're still stuck in the same emotional spot where she left you.
And as she's digging around, this is the fear that starts to creep in, the one that turns her quiet curiosity into a quiet panic. It's the sudden, terrifying realization that you're not waiting around. You're actually moving forward. You're changing, and the man she took for granted might be evolving into someone that's completely beyond her reach.
And that realization leads us to the most critical moment in this entire process. Section 4, the mirror of growth. See, she might have expected you to be falling apart.
Instead, what she discovers is that you've been busy rebuilding.
I mean, just look at this shift. It's night and day. She left a guy who was maybe predictable, maybe a little reactive, and now she's looking at someone who is disciplined, centered, totally self-contained. You didn't just sit around waiting. You used that silence. You used it to sharpen your mind, your body, your purpose.
And that's the thing. Your transformation stops being about you. It becomes a mirror, and it reflects not just the incredible person you're becoming, but everything that she lost. This isn't about showing off. It's just what happens when you get right with yourself. And seeing that proof, that undeniable proof that she misjudged you, that is what can turn her quiet regret into a powerful force.
Which brings us to Section 5, the inevitable return. But hold on, it's probably not what you think. This return is rarely a direct, "Hey, how are you?" Her ego is way too fragile for that. So her energy comes back first in the form of these subtle little tests, or what this framework calls emotional probes.
Think of these probes as little feelers she sends out. They're designed to see if you still orbit her world, all without her having to risk any real rejection. The random story view, the like on a photo from 3 years ago, the oops, wrong person reply, these aren't mistakes. They are calculated tests to see where you're at emotionally.
And this is where your part is absolutely crucial. Because if you react emotionally, if you jump at these tiny crumbs she's throwing you, you hand all that power right back to her. The Stoic-inspired response? It's neutrality. You hold your ground, not because you're angry, but because you respect yourself. And that calm strength might just force her to match your level of clarity.
And that brings us to the final, and honestly, the most important part of this whole journey, the ultimate win. Because it's right here that the entire goal gets completely reframed.
You have to understand this. At this point, she isn't really chasing you anymore. She's chasing the feeling she lost. She's chasing the stability, the peace, that centered energy that you've now built inside yourself. It's a resource she can't find anywhere else, and she didn't appreciate it until it was completely gone.
And that is the absolute core of it all. The entire point of no contact, when you look at it this way, was never a trick to manipulate her into coming back. It was a strategy to rebuild yourself, to reclaim your own center, and to find the version of you that doesn't need anyone else's approval to feel whole.
And that right there is the ultimate paradox in the true victory. The win isn't her texting you. The win is the moment you realize that whether she texts you or not is completely irrelevant to your own peace and your own stability. You've become the source of your own strength, and that is a power that nobody can ever take away from you.